Oh,
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Board of Education for Farmington Public Schools to order on Tuesday, September 9th at 6 p.m. May I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Ms. Heinrich.
Present.
Mr. Hull.
Present.
Mr. Jacinto.
Present.
Ms. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Walker.
Present.
And I myself am here as well. We have a quorum.
Thank you so much. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Next item on our agenda is the approval of the agenda. Can I have someone to present the motion?
I move to approve the agenda for the regular meeting of the Board of Education, Tuesday, September 9, 2025, as presented.
Support.
Motion made to approve the agenda and supported. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion granted. All right, and announcements. Items from the president. Well, ordinarily, you would see Terry Weems, and that is not who I am, obviously. But President Weems sends her best. She is under the weather right now, and we wish her well. And so we'll just move forward, and I thank you for the honor to be able to serve in this capacity this evening. So with that being said, we will now move to public comments. As we approach that, during public comment, and during this portion of our board meeting, we are asking, obviously, for members of the community to address the board. Each community member will have up to 3 minutes to speak, and a timer will be on the screen and display that countdown. Please address your comments to the board and speak directly into the microphone on the podium. If your comment is related to a student or a staff member, we ask that you use caution stating names of individuals where protection of privacy would be appropriate. The board will listen respectfully to your comments, but generally, we do not respond to public comment at this time. In some cases, though, it may be appropriate for someone to follow up with you to address any concerns that you bring forth this evening. And with that being said, our first public comment is from Bill Levelway, followed by, and forgive me if I mess up names tonight, I apologize sincerely, Betsy Preston. Okay, if you can just stand right behind him and you'll be ready to go. Mr. Levelway, whenever you're ready.
First of all, I'm not Eugene, but he asked me to make sure that you had read his memo that had to do with creating an academic excellence committee. Now, and I have a follow-up from the last meeting. I did a write-up in a talk on closing the reading gap starting now. Haven't heard anything about that, so I guess you didn't adopt it. But basically, we have 1,884 kids who are in middle and high school, and they are not reading at grade level. So I said, well, what's it going to cost? It'll cost $5,660,000 to educate them for a year. And what we're looking at is, where do we get that money? Well, we got it. It's sitting in our balance sheet right now, and it's not a big deal. And when we get done spending the money that we have left at the end of this year, we will be still have plenty in the bank to go ahead and look at the future years. I also, in my handout, put the current step scores, which says we got a ways to go yet. My next topic is teaching poor students to read at grade level. 5 years ago, the board decided to pass a proclamation that sorted people out by race. Since then, I've been wrestling with how to say this. It's obvious, though. We can't teach many black students how to read at grade level. We say we teach them, but they don't get any reading reinforcement at home. I find it strange that a board that has a black majority can't teach black students to read. So maybe the problem is that many of these students are also poor, which is probably the root cause of their reading problem. Many come from single-parent homes in which their parent did not learn to read well enough to make a good living. So we blame the parent who reads poorly for not teaching their children to read. We repeat this cycle for generation after generation and expect better reading results. Isn't this the definition of insanity? It's time to break this cycle of reading poverty, which gets back to my comments last week. We have the money to do it. We squirreled that away from the COVID monies, $20 million, and we didn't spend it on the kids then, and it looks like we're not going to spend it now. I'd like to see some action on that for a change.
Thank you. Ms. Preston.
Good evening, distinguished members of the board. Thank you for your time this evening. Last Wednesday night, the parents were informed that there would be no transportation for cheerleaders for the last Friday away football game that was at Holly, over an hour away. The cheer program has always been mindful in limiting their bus requests, typically only asking when travel distance are very significant. There was never any communication to the coaches that this year would be any different. They were not CC'd on any emails. My main concern here is student safety. Not every cheerleader has a parent available to drive them. It's not realistic or safe to expect inexperienced student drivers to transport teammates in their car late at night on highways. It only takes one accident for the consequences to become painfully clear. Just recently, as we were driving back from the last Friday Night Lights, we passed a very horrific accident involving 3 cars, which 2 of them were unrecognizable, and it ended in 1 fatality. As we passed that, my fear ignited that it could have been one of our athletes in that car. That is a risk we are asking you prevent by providing buses for our students. And this just isn't about safety, it's about liability for the district. Heaven forbid an accident did occur, the district would face difficult questions as to why transportation was not provided. Although cheerleading in our district is labeled a club, these athletes dedicate countless hours supporting our football program and contributing to Friday Night Lights. Families and friends in the community come and support them, and events like the cheerleading clinic do bring additional engagement to our district. Yet, despite their direct contribution, they do not receive the same support in return. When our district speaks so strongly about equality, what message does it send when one group, the football players, gets busing, but the other group that also supports Friday Night Lights, our cheerleaders, do not? It makes them feel less than. Surrounding districts like Clarenceville, Livonia, and Northville, they all support their cheerleaders with varsity letters and transportation. We get a club letter and no transportation. We're not even aligned with what the neighboring districts are doing. Friday night simply would not be the same without cheerleaders leading our crowd and building that school spirit. And we respectfully request that you reconsider this decision so our cheerleaders can travel safely together as a team. Please show these young women that their safety, their contributions, and their voice matter. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Mariah Bustos. Am I saying that correctly? Okay. Ms. Bustos, followed by Grace Finch and Sydney Preston. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, my name is Mariah Bustos, and I've been on the cheerleading team for 4 years, and I've been on the varsity team for 2. And during my sophomore year, I talked to the athletic director for the district, as well as my athletic director at Farmington High School. We were granted buses. I was also asking for money for uniforms and mats. We were told, because we are a club, there is no money for mats and there is no money for uniforms, and that's okay. we would continue to wear our 10-year-old uniforms. But buses were granted that year. We had no problem with it as long as we filled out our transportation form. I've always pushed for my coaches to fill out those forms earlier and earlier, and as my coach went to, we were informed that we would no longer get busing. We weren't informed this in the beginning of the year when tryouts happened in June. We were informed the week of the game. It was well, we don't really know if we're going to get a bus or not. That led many of the girls to hope and pray that another girl could take them, or a parent had to take off work to get them, and ultimately, we had girls who almost couldn't come. I looked at my odometer, and it went up 90 miles just from driving to the game and coming back as a teenage driver. I don't think that that is safe for any parent or teenager because, yes, teenagers are inexperienced drivers, but parents can get into these accidents too. I think it's very unfair that we are treated less than other clubs, and I believe that the transportation for our team will not make such a difference in our school district. I think that we are put below every other club and every other sport because we're labeled a club. Yes, we are a club, but we are a club sport, and we support the school just as much as any other sport and any other club. I promise if the Falcon cheerleaders were not on the sidelines, then the whole crowd would be wondering, well, where are the cheerleaders? Where are the cheerleaders? Well, they're stuck in Farmington because their parents couldn't drive 50 minutes all the way to a game. And that is all I have.
Thank you so much. Grace Finch and Sydney Preston.
Hi, my name is Sydney Preston, and I think that we should get busing because after passing the accident on the way home from my last game in Holly, I had fear for our safety because if that would have been one of our teammates, that would not have been good and would not have looked good. And if buses would have been with us, we could all be together as a team, and it would just have been safer. And that's all I have to say because they've been saying a lot, but that's what I think. Thank you.
Surrounding districts are investing in cheer and providing buses. Northville, Stevenson, and Clarenceville are just a few examples. If we don't do the same, we risk losing athletes and families to those programs. That hurts not just cheer, but our entire community and our reputation. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have, is it Mage Green? Did I get that right? Thank you.
Hello, board members. Thank you for speaking to me tonight. Kind of on a similar vein to the cheerleaders, I am a student at Farmington Central High School. I love my school. It's helped me grow in so many ways. We have one problem. Our transportation system is inequitable as compared to other students. We don't have bus stops. We can be dropped off at Farmington or North. We managed this just fine last year because we were allowed to wait inside the building, outside of the elements and whatever else. But this year, we're not allowed inside the building. We are the only school not allowed inside the building. Farmington kids can wait inside the building. Central kids aren't allowed. This makes us feel as though we are second-class high school students because we do not get the same treatment as everybody else. I understand it's annoying and difficult to manage a whole other group of kids, but we don't have much choice in the matter either. I hope and believe in your ability to remedy the situation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Next, Henrietta Forshey, if I'm saying that correctly. Followed by Mark Forshey.
Hello, everyone. Talking about literacy and artificial intelligence challenge. Our children, face not just the typical challenges of literacy, but also an artificial intelligence-powered future. As leaders, we must ensure that our students are not left behind. Dr. Sachs, White House AI education czar, said, "There's a lot of fear out there. Some people think that AI is going to take all our jobs. I think you are not going to lose your job from AI, but you might lose your job to someone who uses AI better than you do. AI isn't just another subject. It's a set of tools students will encounter across all aspects of life. Without strong reading, critical thinking, and interpretive skills, our students won't be able to use AI safely, effectively, or ethically." First Lady Melania Trump says, "The President's National Artificial Intelligence Challenge invites every student in America, from kindergarten to 12th grade, to unleash their imagination and showcase the spirit of American innovation. Our extraordinary educators will guide and empower you through this process to build a brighter, stronger future for us all. To build a foundation, I propose we, 1, continue to implement evidence-based literacy programs for kindergarten through 12th grade. 2, invest in teacher training focused on the science of reading and A1 infused instructional support. I need it. Use AI tools that reinforce students' fluency and comprehension levels. In summary, let's interrupt the cycle of illiteracy, and from that solid ground, build forward into the AI era. Farmington Public Schools can lead the way in preparing children for this future, ensuring equitable, robust, and effective education for all." Thank you. And this is the article.
Mark Forshee.
Hello. The reading skills in this district are terrible. My principal, when I was growing up in a public school in Detroit, would be appalled. In that era, we had everyone walked to school, no buses. We had much better, rounded out education at far less cost. So there's something seriously wrong here. Last time I was here, there was a proposal in 2015 to spend $2.1 billion to increase the scores of Michigan students, especially reading. And in 2025, this year, the scores had gone down. We might as well just set all the money on fire and made a big bonfire out of it. It was a total waste. So more money for public schools is not the way. In the 20th century, that was the mindset. More money, better education. But now, the more money that the public schools get, we're getting lower results. I'm astounded that reading could be this low, especially among black students, because we're losing all that potential. And if you don't have reading along with math, you are afflicted the rest of your life, unless you get people who will really come in and tutor you. But we shouldn't have to spend more money on reading, get special tutors. The money is there, and I'm sure I have a proposal that all the money from DEI be put into reading. And with the amount of budget you have in this district, certainly you could do a foundational thing like teaching kids to read. It's astonishing to me. And I've been coming here for 4 years, it's always the same story. But nothing changes because this is a one-party rule, 7-0. Every vote is unanimous. It's never going to change as long as we keep this mindset. So if we can't get reading right, we're not going to get anything right. And I'm also coupling math with this too, because that's essential as we get more technical. So these are things I'm concerned about, and I just keep seeing the same results over and over, and nothing changes because one-party rule never works. And a lot of you are nice people. I talk to you. It's not that. It's just a certain philosophy and beliefs that, frankly, they're not working. And I'm sad that we don't have parents here, except if they have a special issue for a brief time, they'll be here. But change this meeting to 7 o'clock, because people getting home from work and it's 6 o'clock and they're trying to feed their kids and parents don't show up. This place should be packed with parents and it's not. So please change the meeting time to 7 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any more public comment? Do we have any more public comment? Do we have any more public comment? Prior to moving on in the agenda, I just would like to reference an earlier public comment and just simply say this. While I'm sure that references to reading and literacy scores for African American students in our district are probably very well intentioned, to draw a very simplistic line between the racial makeup of this board and what is taking place or not taking place with students of color in this district is irresponsible and completely inappropriate. There are far more things that are involved in that than just simply the aspect of color, which was implied, but I'm certain was not the intention being made. So I just want to be very clear about the racial makeup of this board and its perceived connection to scores for people of color in this district. It is the heart and mind, I believe I can say, of everybody on this board, President William absent, but still included, that we want every single student, regardless of who they are and how they show up, to have the best opportunity to be the best version of themselves through every skill set we can deliver to them every single day. And with that being said, public comment this round is closed.
Since you don't have time, I think you probably ought
A point of order, please.
Point of order.
Mr. Levelway.
I think what you ought to do
Mr. Levelway.
is teach them how to read.
Mr. Levelway. We will move forward in our agenda this evening with items from the secretary.
Give me just roll back up. Sorry.
No worries.
Oh, thank you. The board received communications regarding the public comment on literacy from August 12, 2025. The office have Head Start notifications, a call to close the Reading Gap Now, Project Lead, the OCPO program, the September edition of the FPS IB Castle News, and an invitation to the Cast Rush premiere this Saturday. The board acknowledges all communications and response as appropriate. A list of correspondence is included in the board packet, which is available on the Farmington Public.
Thank you. Next, we have a legislative update.
Yes. Top of mind is the budget, or rather lack thereof. So we are all very much waiting to see how that resolves and hoping that it resolves imminently so that we can get on with the business of educating our children.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, if there's nothing else for our legislative update, we move on to district updates. Dr. Coffin.
Thank you, Vice President Walker. It has really been a great start to this school year. In visiting all of our buildings on the first day of school, feeling the energy in the hallways and the classroom was absolutely a gift. It was great to see our students settling in so well. Our teachers and our staff have been working so hard to create a welcoming and engaging environment, and the positive response from our students and families has really been heartwarming. As I reflect on this positive beginning, it's clear that the foundational elements of a successful school year, a strong sense of community and dedication, are also key factors in long-term academic growth. This commitment to a positive learning environment aligns with an article that many of you saw from the Detroit Free Press. In this article, they looked at districts that had experienced growth and achievement as measured by state assessments, and the three things that rose to the top in these districts were: they had a plan and they stuck to it, they pursued reading instruction reform earlier than the state, and they prioritized engaging students and parents in different ways. I am proud to report that Farmington Public Schools mirrors these strategies. Our district's instructional framework, which is the cornerstone of our strategic plan, is built on positioning students at the center of the learning experience, creating learning experiences and opportunities that are authentic to our students, and ensuring that our students are noticed, are seen, and know that they belong. This clear and consistent framework serves as our plan, and we continue to adhere to it as we guide our instructional practices and our resource allocation. Furthermore, our commitment to early literacy reform has been a significant strength in this district. Over the past 3 years, Farmington Public Schools proactively made substantial changes in our early literacy resources. This included the addition of materials and methodologies aligned with the science of reading. We were one of the first districts in the county to make this critical shift, a decision that is now paying dividends in our students' foundational reading skills. Finally, we are continually enhancing our efforts to engage students and parents, a practice this article cited as a key indicator of success. We are launching our Farmington Ambassador Network this fall to further empower our community stakeholders. We will continue to prioritize student voice and feedback through initiatives like our Student Roundtable and other opportunities, ensuring that their perspectives are central to creating authentic and meaningful experiences. Our ongoing engagement with parents remains a priority as we share the important work that is happening in our classrooms and gather their invaluable feedback. As the recently released state assessment data is reviewed and analyzed, and as the board knows, we are providing you weekly with information as we dig deeper into the data, we are identifying both areas of strength and opportunities for growth. Our initial findings internally are encouraging as we're seeing academic achievement improve across various student subgroups and grade levels. We're particularly pleased to note that increases in the area where we have invested our district resources validates our strategic focus is starting to take root. While our ultimate goal is to see achievement increase for all students, we are heartened by the positive momentum that's created by our targeted efforts. Our work is far from complete, and we will work tirelessly together to ensure high academic success for all.
Thank you.
That's what I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on our agenda would be reports from board committees, which, since we haven't formed any as yet, we will not have any reports. However, I would like to state that we will be forming those committees at our next retreat, which is, I believe, the 27th of September. So we look forward to being able to dig deeper at that time. Next on the agenda are discussion items, and we have 2 items for discussion this evening. The first is a review of resolution for fiscal year 2025-2026, state school aid budget delays. It's a first reading. We are going to we're going to amend the agenda here because I believe we want to look to take action on this particular resolution this evening. So before I continue on, Ms. Heinrich?
So we're going to amend before we discuss?
Thank you. So let me back up.
Okay.
And let me read the resolution.
Okay.
So that everyone is aware of what it is that we are going to discuss. I apologize for that. So the Farmington Public School District School Board Resolution reads as follows. Whereas Michigan's Constitution requires the Michigan Legislature and Governor to pass an annual school budget for the exclusive purpose of funding public education, and whereas Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed Public Act 160 into law in 2019, which states that the legislature must pass and present general appropriation bills for the upcoming fiscal year to the governor on or before July 1st, and whereas local school districts in Michigan are required by law to pass their own budgets for the upcoming school year by July 1, and whereas the Michigan legislature has failed to meet their July 1 legal deadline to pass a school aid budget appropriation bill or make any meaningful progress towards doing so, and whereas the Farmington Public School District School Board was forced to adopt a budget for the 2025-2026 school year without key funding information due to the ongoing lack of state budget, and whereas the fiscal year 2025-2026 school aid budget continues to be delayed by political battles that are unrelated to school funding or the needs of our students, and whereas the ongoing delay in funding certainly has already impacted our ability to best plan for the support of our students need and deserve in the upcoming school year, and whereas every day the budget continues to be delayed by lawmakers will only worsen the negative impacts on our schools, staff, and students this fall and beyond, and whereas comments by lawmakers that suggest that school aid budget can or should wait for other budget agreements to fall into place ignore the critical needs of our students. Therefore, be it resolved, the Farmington Public School District School Board is urging state lawmakers to immediately pass a spending bill that fully allocates the entirety of funding meant for our schools in a manner that supports the needs of each and every student in Michigan. Be it resolved further, the Farmington Public School District School Board is affirming that school aid funding should not be tied into any other budget deals, including ongoing talks about road funding. There you have the resolution, and I believe now we want to have discussion, and then we move forward from that point. So does anybody have any discussion, any comments or thoughts?
If I can just add a little bit
Yes,
of
I'm sorry.
context, for the board. As Vice President Walker shared, the board did have to approve the 25-26 budget without knowing our per pupil allocation or other funding allocations. Just so that everyone is aware, without the budget, we need to monitor our supplemental programs as we're not aware of any additional funding sources. And this includes initiatives around safety and mental health, special education funding, 31A at-risk dollars, vocational education dollars for CTE, bilingual funding, school lunches, and adult education, among other funding. I think everyone is aware here the district does not receive state aid payments for the months of July or August or September. So not receiving our state payment as scheduled in October will definitely impact our cash flow and our fund balance. And so as Vice President Walker shared, since time is of the essence, the board may want to consider also acting on this item this evening.
With that being shared, does anyone have any discussion? Ms. Heinrich.
I always have things to say. I want to implore our community and everybody that lives in Michigan to use your voice and contact your legislatures. They actually listen. People in elected offices listen to people that vote for them. And so this is an important to use your voice to do this. School funding, whatever gains we've had in school funding, it's still not enough. We talk about the importance of educating our children, and we're fortunate that our school district was able to settle contracts with all of our unions without having a finalized budget, and so that is really a win for our school district and for our children, but it's still not enough. The Oakland County School Board Association is supporting this also, as far as we will be voting on a resolution for that. K-12 Alliance is a legislative group, is working on that, and they're asking through the organizations actually have a pledge that really specifies specific items on school funding, and asking the governor to pledge to support. And so please, use your voice to advocate for school funding to support our students, because all the work that we're doing, it just, once we don't have the budget to pay our staff and implement the programs we have, a lot of the success that we're doing goes away.
Thank you. Yes, Ms.
So to piggyback off of my colleague, trustee Heinrich, we do have a state rep, Samantha Stekeloff, that fights for us daily. She does sit on the committee for our education. What people need to understand is, although she's fighting, she needs to hear from the community. She needs to know what it is that we want. She has a great working relationship with the superintendent and with other people in the community, such as myself, but she does need to hear from you. Her phone line is always open. She does host coffee hours, whether they're here in Farmington Hills or in Southfield or West Bloomfield. You need to know what needs to be the next move by working with her and the other state reps, because although she's fighting and knows what she thinks we want, she needs to hear from us on what we need to do and get those questions to her, and then she can fight with the rest of the legislation. And don't be afraid to call. I mean, it can be intimidating, but that's what she was elected for. You want to pick up the phone, if you even go to Lansing, knock on her door if she's there. Lobby together, write letters, reach out to your state reps, your senators, and your congressmen and women, and they will work with you on this issue, because we do need her to know what we do need. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any further discussion? I would just like to add, if I may, that just to remind everyone that public education is just that, public. It is for everyone, and it was intended to be the great equalizer, if you will. And while public education has its troubles, its trials, and its tribulations, it still is the best opportunity for everyone to have access to the kinds of freedoms that we all would want to have. And so, as my colleagues have said, where you can, how you can, continue to use your voice, speak where you need to whom you need to, in order to make sure that there's no interruptions to good work that is being done and good work that can always be done better. So I'd just like to share that as well. With that being said, I would like to entertain a motion to possibly amend the agenda to maybe move on this resolution this evening. Ms. Heinrich?
Right, I move to amend the September 9th, 2025 regular meeting agenda as follows. Add action item titled, Approval of Resolution on Fiscal Year 2025-26 State School Aid Budget Delays under action items to be listed as action item F, waive the second reading of the resolution, and approve the agenda as amended.
Support.
Motion made to amend the agenda to include this resolution as an action item has been made and supported. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Motion made and approved. So now we need a motion to approve the resolution this evening, or?
We'll go to the next discussion item, and then it'll be in the action.
So we'll move it down there. Okay, got it. Thank you. Everything has a learning curve. So our next item under discussion items is a review of the resolution on a set of settlement terms, of Batista versus Office Retirement Services Litigation. This is our first reading, just for the purposes of our public so that they understand what this resolution is. I would like to read it as well. So the resolution as states, whereas the Board of Education of Farmington Public Schools has historically provided compensation and associated adjustments and increases in compensation to all employees in consideration of their labor and efforts in advancing the district interests of the district, whereas on May 16, 2025, a settlement was reached in Batista versus the Office of Retirement Services, case number 19-000019-MZ, which concludes a long-standing dispute between Michigan Public School employees and the Michigan Office of Retirement Services surrounding what compensation increases may count towards employee state pensions. Whereas the settlement provides the opportunity for local boards, Board of Educations to pass resolutions attesting that the subject compensation paid to employees was not paid for the specific purpose of increasing final average compensation, also known as spiking. Now, therefore, be it resolved, number one, that the Board of Education certifies that it has never provided an increase to any employee's compensation for the purpose of spiking the amount that the employee's final average compensation as calculated by the Office of Retirement Services. And number two, this resolution is acknowledged by the board to comply with the settlement terms of Batista v. Office of Retirement Services and should be interpreted as such in any future proceedings or controversy between the district's employees and the Michigan Office of Retirement Services.
So moved.
Just,
We were at discussion.
Oh, that we already did, okay.
We're going to have some discussion around this particular item. Is there any thoughts, or actually, let me back up, and Dr. Goff, would you provide some more context, please?
Sure. Just a quick summary as you read the resolution, Vice President Walker. This was a settlement in the case of Batista versus the Office of Retirement Services, and this has an impact on public schools employees. This case centered on the way the Office of Retirement Services was calculating what's called the normal salary increase, or NSI, for school personnel when they retired. So this decision impacts school personnel across our district who work outside of collective bargaining agreements. So that means our central office, executive assistants, non-unit and non-affiliated, which is about 106 staff currently that fall into this category. The passing of this resolution, which has been recommended by the district's attorney as well as other professional organizations, will provide ORS with additional evidence, as stated in the resolution, that the board is not spiking salaries, so to speak, with any increases, and that those increases be considered in the final average compensation.
Thank you. With that context, is there any further discussion on this item? Seeing as there is none, it'll move to an action item for our next meeting. Okay. With that being said, next on the agenda is public comments. Public comments. As said before, if you have a public comment, please, there are cards in the back, and you can bring them right up here, place them in the dish. You'll have 3 minutes to share your thoughts, please. Please keep your comments directed towards the board. If you are going to use any names, we ask that you exercise caution, restraint perhaps, as there is issues of privacy that may need to be brought into concern with respect to that. With that being said, we have Sean Black, please, for public comment. And if there are others, just bring them right on up, please. Dr. Black.
I did not plan on coming today, as you can see by my attire, but I do want to talk about something that's important. I sent an email to the board this morning, then I sent another email this morning to the board about a similar topic, but a little different. My concern, and it's been my concern predating this superintendent, and probably predating the one before him and the one before him. This district is not doing what it can and should be doing for students who look like my kids in the back. I'm getting tired of saying it, but maybe these numbers will resonate with some of you. They should. 29% of black students in grades 3 through 7 are reading at grade level. 22% are doing math at grade level, 3 through 7. I haven't been in the classroom long, but those numbers aren't good. They're not good. I don't know. Maybe on a curve they might be, but the way we're used to school, these numbers aren't good. 29%, that's 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10 are reading like they should be. 2 out of 10 are doing math like they should be. And lastly, one I find most disturbing, 16% of black students in grade 11 are ready for college. So what are we preparing them for if it's not to go to college? What are we really doing? So it disturbs me that these numbers exist in a district that's in the top 15% with per pupil funding when you tie in state and federal funds. So I heard Dr. Coffin's, or you said don't mention names. I heard the superintendent's comments. So my question is this: when do we deem that the plan isn't working? When do we make adjustments when it's not working for a certain group of kids? What is that data metric that says it's not working? We need to do something different. I don't know what I have to say, how many emails I have to send, or that you have to hear my voice and know I'm serious about this even though my kids are younger. This needs to be a topic at your retreat. This needs to be addressed. Not tomorrow, immediately.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Anyone else for public comment? Public comment one more time. Okay, public comment is now closed. Now we move on to action items on our agenda, and we have several. The first action item is the recommendation for approval regarding the Filter First grant. Do I have a motion, please?
Sure. I move that the Board of Education approve the Facilities Department's implementation of Michigan's Filter First initiative as presented.
Support.
Motion to approve the Filter First grant as presented has been made and supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Point of order. Do we need roll call on?
Typically, they're
Okay.
noted here, and it is not.
Okay.
But if the board would prefer to have a roll call, I'm certainly open to that.
Fine.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
I just thought we usually did on money items.
okay. So the motion was made, supported, and all in favor, approved. No abstentions and no nays. And so, motion approved, recommendation approved. The next item is the recommendation for approval regarding the bus purchase. May I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education approve the purchase of 3 buses from Hoekstra Transportation Incorporated as presented.
Second.
Motion made for the approval of the bus purchase from Hoekstra Transportation made and seconded. All in favor?
Discussion.
Oh, excuse me, is there a discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
I will approve this purchase, but over the summer, we were offered a grant for a fleet of electric buses. Other districts accepted that offer, Dearborn and other neighboring communities. And I understand how that could have been costly, but the remainder of the money, if we need it, and we didn't have to get the whole 14 fleet, but we could have taken a few of those buses just to see how that would work for sensory issues for students with special needs and the smell. We also would have been able to get the rest of the money from DTE, they would have paid for everything. So I would like in the future, although that money is gone and there is no grant for it anymore, I would like for us to look in the future, because as of right now, we have always been the district that others have followed. And in this situation, we are following the other districts, and we're looking at districts that don't have as much money as we do, that are getting these buses. So I think that we need to speed up and do some things and work as a board to think about this in the future. I also listened to some young girls sit here tonight regarding their situation with busing. If we're going to purchase these buses, let's make sure our kids can get back and forth. It's disturbing that, you know, you go out and you join these, I look at it as a sport as well, but if you're out here, let's make a way so that these students, if we're purchasing buses, let's make sure our students have transportation to and from, even if it means those girls have to get on the bus with the band or with the football players. Other schools come here and they provide transportation. So I don't want buses just sitting there looking like a bunch of Twinkies. I like to have buses used for kids to be able to go places. So that's just my comment.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. I apologize. Just getting a quick update. Is there any further discussion? Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate you bringing up the electric buses, and I want to reassure you that every time bus purchase comes up at the Finance Facilities Committee, one of the questions are you looking into electric buses and looking into the grants and all the expenses opposed to it. And I think that our district, when it is right, we're going to go in that direction. At these times, it hasn't been right, but as far as advocating for it on the Finance Committee, we're having that discussion. And so it is an ongoing discussion. And they're also looking at different fuel sources and other types of things to improve our transportation.
So to piggyback off of that, when you are offered something for free, that was grant money that would have paid for a fleet of 14 buses. We did not have to take all 14. So when is the time ready? And now that money is no longer allocated to districts. So now when we do decide when it is ready, we would have to use funds to put those in. So that's just and I understand, but at the end of the day, you don't turn down no free money. And then especially when you have the opportunity to have a piggyback, which would be DTE, that would have funded the rest of that cost. Again, you did not need all 14, but it would have been nice to have at least 2 or 3, and mainly for our special ed students that have issues with the smell of gas, propane, diesel, and the sound sensory. So those are my issues, but I understand. I also sit on finance and facilities as well, so I do know what is going on. But I do think that it would be imperative that we look further down the future at not just waiting when it's right, doing it when you have the funds.
Thank you. Thank you both. Is there any further discussion regarding the bus purchase? Hearing none, let's have a roll call for this, please.
Okay. Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto?
Yes.
Ms. Heinrich?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Hull?
Yes.
And I am also a yes. Motion passes.
Okay, motion passes. Next, we have a recommendation for approval regarding backhoe replacement. May I have someone give the motion?
Yeah, I move that the Board of Education approve the replacement of the Caterpillar 420E backhoe with a Bobcat skid steer at a cost of $70,280.57 as presented.
Support.
Motion made for the approval of the replacement of the Caterpillar backhoe as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. May I have a roll call, please, for this purchase?
Yes. Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Recinto?
Yes.
Ms. Heinrich?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Hull?
Yes.
And I am also a yes. Motion passes.
Motion passes. Next, we have a recommendation for approval regarding the high school music attire purchase. May I have someone give the motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education approve the purchase of 90 additional choir dresses for North Farmington High School from DeMolin Brothers and Company as presented.
Support.
Motion made for the approval of high school music attire for additional choir dresses for North Farmington High School. Motion made and supported. Let's have a roll call for this one as well, please.
Did you want to see if there was any, just,
I'm sorry. Is there any discussion? Hearing none? Now, let's see if we can have a roll call, please.
no problem. Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Recinto?
Yes.
Ms. Heinrich?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Hull?
Yes.
And I am also a yes. Motion passes.
Motion passes. Recommendation for approval for PE Fitness Center equipment. Can I have someone to give that motion, please?
Yes, I move that the Board of Education approve the purchase of new physical education equipment for the fitness centers at Farmington and North Farmington High Schools from Direct Fitness Solutions as presented.
Support.
Motion made for the approval of additional physical education fitness center equipment. Motion made and supported. Is there any discussion?
Yes. I'm happy to hear that this is happening. Our equipment is old, and we need our students, especially our athletes and our students that are in gym or whatever classes they're taking, to have this physical fitness. It's important to have. Most students are not able to have these things outside of school. They are allowed to use them after school for after-school activities if supervised by an adult. But this is something that should have been done a long time ago, and I really think this is a very good move for us to do for our students.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Anyone else with discussion? Okay, may we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Recinto?
Yes.
Ms. Heinrich?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Hull?
Yes.
And I am also a yes. Motion passes.
Motion passes. And finally, as amended from earlier, we would like a motion on the resolution regarding the state budget.
I move that the Board of Education approve the resolution on the fiscal year 2025-2026 Michigan School Aid Fund budget delays as presented and to waive the second reading.
Support.
Motion made to move on the resolution as presented this evening and to waive the second reading. Motion made and supported. Is there any discussion? Any additional discussion, I should say, since we had some earlier? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Next item is the consent agenda. Can I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education approve the September 9th, 2025 consent agenda as follows. A, approval of minutes. Number 1, August 12th, 2025 special meeting. Number 2, August 12th, 2025 closed session. Number 3, August 12th, 2025 regular meeting. Number 4, August 21st, 2025 special meeting. Number 5, August 21st, 2025 closed session. B, special education Parent Advisory Committee Representative Stacy Deffenbach.
Support.
Motion made to approve the September 9th consent agenda and all items found within, made and supported. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. All right. And with that, are there any reports from board representatives?
Yes, thank you. As our liaison for the Farmington Hills Education Foundation, I would like to just remind all of us and our community that the Toast for Education will be happening on Friday, November 7th in the evening. So please mark your calendars. It's a wonderful evening. It's elegant. It's joyful. There are lots of great baskets and raffle prizes too. And all of the funds go to support our teachers and our students. So Friday, November 7th.
Friday, November
7th.
7th.
Sorry.
Mark your calendars. Okay.
Friday, November 7th.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have anything as a rep, but I would like to give my condolences to Linda Fox and former Officer Dwayne Fox to the loss of her father, Mr. Lanigan, who Lanigan Elementary is named after. Mr. Lanigan was a pillar of not only the school district, but of this community. And him and his family are still in our prayers and our thoughts. And I am so sorry for your loss, and thank you for allowing us, Linda, to have your father in the service of this community.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing that as well, Ms. Smith. Any further reports? Just as a point of privilege, I just want to say thank you to all of you for allowing me to serve in this capacity. I apologize for any missteps this evening, but thank you for all the support that you gave in allowing me to get through this. And since I have no hair to pull out, I'm glad that's not.
You do. It's right here.
Right here. I'm trying to hang on to that. With that being said, meeting adjourned.
Wonderful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Mr. Walker.
Personal computer or on the district computer. It says that I don't have insufficient privileges to perform this. However, there's nothing in there that stops me from doing anything I want to do.